No matter what high school you go to, you are inevitably going to end up in some sort of bully situation. Now, I wasn't bullied very often. People generally liked me, and it was kind of difficult to pick on me. I was quick-witted. I was very clever. I could snap back really fast. There was this kid named Brandon who gave me trouble my sophomore year, and after I dicked with him back, he would actually stop picking on me. There was this day in science class. Brandon had been picking on a friend of mine, and I actually did hang out with a few people who were kind of, in a way, easy targets. Well, either way, the teacher set me up perfectly. He says, if Brandon was given another half of a human brain, he would be that much smarter, potentially, than everyone else in this room. I raised my hand and I said, well, hey, Mr. Teacher, actually, if you gave Brandon half of a brain, he would be normal. The class lost it. They had a great time with that. Nobody really seemed to like Brandon very much. He was the kind of kid who would walk up to a weak link in the class and then just start hitting them in the arm to sort of like prove his strength. And he's like, yeah, we're playing arms, and if you don't play, you're weak. You know, that was the kind of kid he was. Not a lot of brains, and really not even that strong either. This kid in shop class, we would be welding, and he would pick up his leg and put it up against his other leg like a flamingo, like a ballerina, and weld like that. And we're sitting there like, what are you doing, dude? He's like, it helps me balance. A friend of mine one day while Brandon was welding like that, grabbed him by the shoulder and slowly pushed him until he fell up against the wall. He's like sitting there welding. Oh, God. Either way, this one day we're in English class. Brandon had been picking on a friend of mine. And again, I would always stand up for my friends. I could take the beating. It was no problem for me. So he's picking on my buddy, and I stand up. I walk over to his desk, and I said, hey, Brandon, why don't you come over here and help me on last night's assignment real quick? Brandon grabs a water bottle and opens it up and starts putting water in my seat so that when I sat back down, I'd get my ass all wet. And he turns around and he says, I'm not giving you answers, Barry. This is when I smirked at him and I said, so be it. I grab his backpack and I threw it out the window. Now here's the best part of this story. We had a substitute teacher that day, right? So she had no idea who anyone in the class was. Brandon screams. He's freaking out. He runs outside to go pick up his stuff, and his stuff went everywhere. It wasn't just a backpack. It opened up and just exploded. This substitute teacher looks at me and gets up in my face as I'm wiping the water off my chair. I sit back down and she goes, son, what's your name? And I said, Brandon. I swear to God, she was like, how do you spell that? And I was like, how do you think you spell that? I gave her so much sass. How do you think you spell that? B-R-A. Do I seriously have to spell it out for you? She was pissed. She went to the little prison detention center form, I think they call it roll call, and she found Brandon's name and she circled it. The very next day, our teacher comes back. And the first thing he does when he walks in the room, he sits down and he says, Brandon, you're going to the principal's office. Brandon's like, what the hell? Why? He's like, you were disruptive in class yesterday. Go to the principal's office. He's like, disruptive? I was good yesterday. Yeah, really smart thing to say, Brandon. I was good yesterday. Really shows us what kind of character you are. Brandon got detention for 3 days because of what I did. And from that point forward, this was sophomore year, I didn't actually run into any trouble with that kid ever again. You can be a jerk in high school, you can be a bully, you can beat up on the wimpy kids, but if you go up against the kid that's quick-witted, you're gonna lose. What's that saying? How's that go? I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but clearly you're unarmed. Bye, guys.